everyone. I'm Danielle Belton, proud principal of Park Creek Elementary School, where I've been principal the past 11 years. We started with TLP, I believe it's been 6 or 7 years. I can't remember exactly, but quite some time now.
Awesome. So if you were a new principal and you were just getting started with TLP, what's one key piece of advice that you would share to help them get a successful start?
Yep, I would say use your resources. So we have a great teacher leadership program. They're there to support you. They're there to be in this work with you. They're there to help you as you start your process of navigating and coaching your MCLs or whoever that you're bringing on board. Also say have an internal plan. So if you go into it without a plan and you just say, okay, you have these advanced roles and you don't have very well laid out position expectations and outcomes, I think that, that could be hard. So have a plan and use your resources will be the first thing. And resources include other principals. Reach out to other principals who have programs, hear from them, hear about their models, and then take all of those things collectively to come up with what's going to work best for your school.
Yes, I love that. What have been the most effective strategies you've used to keep TLP thriving and sustainable at your school? You have a large amount of TLP members at your school. So what have you used to keep that sustainable?
I guess the first thing that comes to my mind is regular check-ins with them. So making sure you create a system for quarterly. I'm going to sit down myself, the principal, and talk through, their goals, talk through their progress, talk through what's working well and what might not be working well, as we work to ensure that the program is strong. So outside of those formal meetings, just always having regular meetings and regular check-ins. And that's with your teacher leaders as well as your classroom teachers. What are working well? What are the needs? What are our gaps? Just constantly having that reflective space where people are able to just work on focusing on what can we do to get better and to grow our program.
Great. Awesome. What's a valuable lesson you've learned through your experience with TLP, and how has that learning influenced your approach over time?
I'll go back to having a plan. If you just say, okay, I have these people and okay, this is what you're going to do, you have to be really specific. So really ironing out what roles and responsibilities look like and progress monitoring that. So yes, it takes work on the end of the leader, but it also is valuable when you see your teachers go from EIT 2s to MCLs and you see the development and then you see their impact. So just really making sure that they have crystal clear goals. They have crystal clear, these are, your actions for quarter one. These are things that you'll be taking leadership with. This is what coaching looks like, supporting them, because if we're developing them as coaches, how can we ensure that they're getting better, providing them with resources and protocols, all of those things to ensure that the program is strong and that they grow personally as teacher leaders.
100%. And you kind of, with your plan, you kind of touched on this part, but do you have any advice for principals who are just struggling to attract or get TLP candidates at their school? What can they do to have more TLP members? I feel like you build from within, kind of like what you were saying by checking in with them, but is there anything else you would add to that?
So that's my strategy. My strategy is grow leaders within the building. I think that, when people know that your space is a space for growth and that, we grow teacher assistants into teachers and we grow teachers into EITs and we grow EITs into MCLs and we grow MCLs into, facilitators or deans. Like when you have a culture of growth, I think, and it gives people something to, look towards. Constantly having those conversations when we do those formal observations with teachers that are your high performers, telling them, I see this in your future. I want you to apply. Even telling first year teachers, hey, you're not there yet, but I see something in you. So 3 or 4 years from now, I want you to apply. I see you being a leader, if not here at our school, but a leader somewhere because you have it in you. So just having those conversations, understanding because everyone doesn't want to necessarily leave the classroom. Everyone's impact looks differently. So just having those conversations with the staff and then creating the culture of continuous improvement where people are vested in getting better.
Awesome. So you talked about, your plan and how you look at things. Could you add a little bit more about, especially for Title I schools, using utilization of Title I funds or any additional money or anything? Like, how do you prioritize what you used your money for in regard to TLP when creating your master plan?
So TLP is really important to us here at Park Creek. We know that coaching support is a key lever to teacher success. I look at some of my beginning teachers, and they're not operating like beginning teachers because they have such strong coaching and so much feedback and so much development, through our TLP program, that they're operating at really high levels, even our first year, our beginning teachers. So I prioritize it. So I use majority of my Title I money for TLP. And that's something that is from the beginning is something that I prioritize. And we've been fortunate to be able to use other funding sources, like our general funds, to be able to do the supplies and all of those things. Because the important things, not that we use all of our money for TLP, but it just comes off the top. It comes off the top, and then we find another way to do all the other things, because we know that this is a true lever of instructional success.
Yeah. And I think you do a great job. In case the people have not seen the news, you've been in the news about raising your letter grade and doing great things. So would you say that TLP has contributed to that in any way?
Absolutely, because again, teachers want to grow, and everyone doesn't want to grow outside of, going to administration, et cetera. We need really good teachers, and I believe that really good teachers should be rewarded. So my TLP members here at our school, they work for every extra dollar that they get, but it also, outside of the financial benefits, is growing them. Oftentimes I tell my TLP people, I see you as administrators in the future, because we need really, really good instructional leaders to lead our schools. So absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think you're creating very well-rounded and experienced people that are ready to jump into any job position that opens up. So that really concludes most of our conversation. Is there anything that you would like to add about your experience or anything else for new principals who are implementing?
Yep, this is a great way to reward and develop leaders. And we know that, here in, North Carolina and across the country, it's hard to retain really good people. So utilizing we're really fortunate to have this in our district. So utilizing it and, figuring out what's going to make sense for your school is definitely worth the time, because, our school has been successful, but I really saw increased success the more I have been able to implement TLP and develop additional leaders at our school.
Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you so much for your time today to speak to new principals or even veteran principals and, just bounce ideas and give your insights. Very valuable. You're doing amazing things. Everybody knows it. So I really appreciate you taking time
Well,
to do
thank
this
you.
today.
Thank you. No problem.